Nicky Sinden is addicted to fishing. Whether it's straylining for big snapper, jigging for kingfish, spearfishing or diving, she loves it all and is on a constant quest to learn more. Join her each week as she road trips around the country, tracking down New Zealand's local fishing legends as they share their stories, tapping into their local knowledge and showcasing their tips, tricks and techniques.
Hi, I'm Nicky and welcome to ADOS Addicted to Fishing. This week I'm taking you to the Tutukaka Coast. It's one of my personal favourite spots of New Zealand to fish, and I've found a very special fishing legend this week, and he knows those fish like the back of his hand.
Probably the first memories of fishing would be catching eels as a kid in some creek somewhere and fishing off wharves and catching sprats and then the old string hand lines and stuff, and then just worked up from there.
We headed to the beautiful beachside community of Sandy Bay to meet up with local legend Rusty Briars.
Yeah, I got good memories of especially taking my kids for their first fish. My daughter one Christmas Day, she's only 4, caught her first snapper. Taking Russ, my son as well, also out to the mussel farms on the barrier. Good fish for them to catch and good experiences. So it's an important food source for us. That's what it's about for us. Not only enjoyment, but it's putting food on the table. Sandy Bay is a cool place to be living. We've got a good community here, and access to the fishing, diving. It's all right on our front doorstep. At least one of us is getting out once a week for a fish. Yeah.
This week we're launching our STABICRAFT out of Tutukaka, only half an hour northeast of Whangarei. It is a fishing mecca and the gateway to the Poor Knights Marine Reserve. The islands, 25k offshore, have been rated by famous Jacques Cousteau as one of the top 10 dive sites in the world.
Well, my favourite style of fishing would have to be chasing the kings and with the jigging. And I think we'll be going out tomorrow morning. We'll head out 28k from here to a reef system that's off the top end of the Poor Knights Islands. Early morning's the best there, and we'll just see what we can come up with, eh?
So we're out at North Reef. We are going to chuck some metal in the water. What do you hope to get here, Keith?
90% of the time we'll be on the kings and old half hooker and snapper at certain times of the year.
What do we not want to get from here?
Any of the razor gang, barracuda.
Yeah, I've fished this reef a few times, and yeah, barracuda is quite prominent as well, but that's why we've actually turned up really early. We've been up since 4 o'clock this morning, and we shot straight out from Tutukaka, so yeah, we're here at the right time of day and to catch the kings, so let's cross our fingers and let's chuck some jigs in the water.
Let's do it.
Catching kingfish on metal lures has always been effective, but recent advances in rods, reels and tackle, coupled with a new technique out of Japan called mechanical jigging, has seen it really take off in New Zealand and around the world. Using good gear really does make the difference when jigging, as it is designed for the job and makes it much easier. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that looks a bit better than what I've got. Golden snapper, foul hooked. Would you look at that? Sorry, mate, didn't mean to hook up to you. Meanwhile, on the other side of the boat, we got Keith hooked up. So Keith, this is your, second drop, and you're already hooked up to something?
Yep.
It's likely to be half hooker, kingfish, barracuda. What do you reckon it feels like?
It's all like a kingy. If it's a hooker, it'd be good too. I don't think it's a barracuda.
That's good.
It's right on the bottom too, this fish.
Was it still?
No, when I hooked it.
Oh. You fish this spot quite a lot, don't you, Keith?
Yeah, we come out pretty regularly. before Christmas we find is good before everyone else gets out here.
Bit of negotiation happening over there, Keith.
Yep, he's waking up. Still no sign of the leader. Here he goes again.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got the leader.
Okay.
I don't think he's very big. He might even be 12 hooked yet.
Yeah.
There's other fish behind him, I think.
Could be a shark.
No, he's foul hooked.
Scar hooked. I'm going to walk backwards.
Yep.
Nice fish though. We're a bit stroppy this morning. Come on, mate.
It's going to come out in a minute.
Oh. Can't be quick, the hook's out. Quick, quick, quick. Coming up, the Furuno is loaded with fish and Keith is on to a big one. This week on ADOS Addicted to Fishing, we're up at the crack of dawn chasing kingfish out from Sandy Bay on the Tutukaka Coast, and Keith has hooked into a good one. Day has just broken. We haven't even been here for
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Second drop, Keith lands this beautiful kingfish. As you can see here, he's got a bit of a tear in his back. We're going to have to keep the fish because otherwise he's going to be shark bait. But that's okay, he's going to go to a good home, a Bradley smoker tonight.
Yeah, we smoked.
What actually happened was it was hooked down there, so it was foul hooked. So yeah, it caused a bit more of a fight than normal. And as we got the leader to the side of the boat, the hook actually came undone, but luckily I was holding the tail while it was thrashing around and Keith grabbed it and we got it into the boat. And success, jackpot.
There we go.
Well done.
Good start.
I think we should get our lines back in the water.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool.
In the bin.
Yeah. Rid of all that?
North 3 foot, well, it's primarily a jigging spot. It comes out of deep water pretty close to 100 metres and rises up to 39, 40 metre mark. Two pins. It's special for me because it's just a challenge getting out there at times. And you've got that backdrop of the Knights Marine Reserve behind it. And I think there's always pretty good fishing.
When it comes to choosing your weapons for jigging, you want to make sure you've got the right kit. We're using SHIMANO Trinidad 16N reels on 2 to 400 gram T-curve Revolution jig rods. This gear provides the necessary stopping power to subdue these angry fish. Oh, he's on. Yep, I'm on as well. Double hook up. Right, so we've just been jigging, done another drift, and we have hooked it. Come on. Now the negotiations really begin. It's a bit stroppy. So we've got Keith over there, hooked up. He's in his own negotiations at the moment. Crack of dawn is definitely the right time to come out to North Reef. Yep, so there's a nice kingy over here. Cool, so I just jigged out this little baby of a kingfish. We're definitely going to let this one go. Mwah. Thank you for your time.
I'll have a leader here.
Okay. All right.
Young fella.
Just another little bubba. Yeah. Beautiful fish out here. They look very healthy.
They are, they're on good nick, eh?
Very happy. I'd be pretty happy if I lived out here too, to be honest. So we're using a Williamson Benthos 300 gram in pink. These fish just love them. They're like lollipops for these fish. Thank you, Mr. Kingy.
Cool.
Nothing has revolutionised the world of sport fishing in recent years more than the technique of mechanical jigging. Once you've tried it, with the right gear and the right tuition, you'll be hooked. It may look awkward, but it's easy to pick up and it's worth the effort. So how long have you been fishing out here, Keith?
Probably 8 or 9 years since we moved over here from the barrier.
Yeah. And when jigging came out, were you straight into it, or?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. You could see how it would work really well, and
yeah, I thought it was just another weapon in the old arsenal, really. It's the same as soft bait and everything like that.
Do you have any advice for anyone that wants to get into jigging?
Buy good gear. Don't skimp on cheap gear.
Yeah.
It'll let you down.
How are you finding the Trinidad?
It's
jig
not
with?
too bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I've gradually getting used to it today. It certainly suits the 300 gram jigs. I know that.
Very smooth.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's funny. A lot of people have a really different mindset on jigging. They think it looks silly, and it's using metal, and it's just seems very opposite to feed bait.
Yeah.
Which is what a lot of us grew up with. But
yeah.
if you give it a go and you just persevere, it feels a lot more natural, and then you actually get it, and you really do get a lot of fish.
Yep, you do.
I mean, live baiting will always produce bigger fish, I believe.
Yep.
In most cases, but if you just want to blad out here and get a feed for the family.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about, I reckon.
Exactly. And having a bit of fun while we're at it.
Oh, you got to enjoy it. Yep. And that's where it's good getting the kids involved.
Yeah.
They can all do it.
So it's been a really good morning out in the water. We've come across a few very stroppy kingfish, haven't we?
Yeah, they gave us a run around all right.
Yeah. That 15 kilo that you got was pretty good.
Yep, lucky we got him.
Yeah, lucky. Still pretty keen to stick around for another day.
Yeah, well, you could hook up with my young fella, Russ, and I'm sure he'd be keen to take you out for a bit of snapper fishing later on.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, he's got 2 spots.
Cool. Okay. Well, let's give him a call when we get back and see if he's keen to take us out. Tackle tips and tactics, brought to you by Hunting and Fishing. So today I'd like to talk to you about jigs. Now, I personally love the Williamson Benthos jigs, and I'm going to talk to you about why I love them so much. These jigs, you can get jigs in a range of different shapes and colours, sizes, everything. But these are my particular favourite. The unique diamond-shaped design, it helps it sink faster, and it induces a more aggressive attack from the fish that you're targeting, for example, half hooker or kingfish. And it also helps with the retrieve as well. For all your fishing needs, head down to your local hunting and fishing store. Coming up, Keith's son Rusty shows us some of his favourite snapper spots. This week on ADOS Addicted to Fishing, we're on the Tutukaka Coast. Yesterday we fished with local legend Keith Briars, but now we're meeting up with his son, Rusty.
My earliest fishing memory of mine would have to be back when we owned the old 12-foot tinny at the barrier and heading out the Okiwi bar. I was only 3, maybe 4, and Dad's just give me the old hand line, bait all up for me and put it over the side, and a few fish come in the boat, and then all of a sudden, oh, my hand line goes off and spin around the boat. Picked up the hand line and got up. About a 10-pound snapper, just a nice solid panty, and it was a pretty good start to it all. Got me right into it. Everything about fishing is so much fun. It's not easy, but it is easy to do. Anyone can do it, and it's just puts food on the table at the end of the day, so well addicted.
Our target species this morning is snapper, so of course the first thing that we do is start the burley trail. Rusty is putting out the burley bomb with a small dive weight attached. This keeps the burley below the waterline and stops it from floating on the surface, letting it disperse down to the reef below. So we've just left from Tutukaka. We've just pulled up to a special spot. What's the spot called, Russ?
I call it Halfway Rock is the spot here. So it's a nice shallow reef area. Holds a few fish this time of year, so we'll give it a go.
Sweet, and we're in 12 metres. We've just deployed the mussel burley. We've already seen a few fish. We're going to try and catch a few Jack Macs, chuck them in the livey tank, and maybe throw out a kingy bait. So you reckon that there's some snapper here too?
Hopefully, we'll give it a go.
Sweet. What size hooks do you reckon we chuck on here?
Just standard 8 barrow. Nothing too big, but nothing too small. So just a single hook on with the sliding sinker there should be right.
Sweet.
Flick it out the back. I'm just going to chop a few little pillies into sort of smaller chunks and just get a bit of a cube trail going.
I'm using a sabiki rig to try and catch some fresh baits. A sabiki is a series of small hooks with a sinker at the bottom used to catch bait fish.
So the current's sort of drifting away from us here, out towards the reef out there, so I'll just flick it that way and see what happens. And we're fishing.
We're on in the sabiki.
But you need a net just about, Nicky.
Just about. I'm going to tighten that drag.
Could be an alright little snapper almost.
I'm hoping it's a snapper. If it's a kingy, it's a little baby, but he's keen for a scrap. Oh. Just going to take my time. Oh, we got a little baby kingy.
He's got his mates following him.
He's got his mates.
I'll just use a net here, Nick, just so we don't break those speakies off.
Oh yeah, nice little sabiki tangle we got there.
And a little mate here.
Business as usual for sabikis.
We'll pop him back,
We'll pop him back. Send him back with a message to go get his great-grandfather.
Oh, he almost got away with it.
Almost.
There we go.
What's happening, Russ?
Well, just hooked up to something. Could be one of those little kingies. They've been swimming around a bit. And it took it near the surface, but... And the way it's tracking along, I'd say it might be. It's a Kawhai. And he's getting blood everywhere. So he's bleeding quite badly, so we don't really want to be letting him go. He should be good eating. We might just bleed this guy and pop him in the bin. Beautiful. What I do for a living is, at the moment, is working for a local dive company, skippering there and dive mastering, so it's quite cool to have that change where I go to a marine reserve for my day's work, see how well marine reserves work, and I come back into my home place, Sandy Bay, and work and go fishing and things like that, and just seeing the differences between the two places. Definitely agree with the Poor Knight Spina Reserve. It's a bit of an oasis in the desert, you could say, and a couple of days ago I was videoing snapper on the surface boiling up, and you'd never see that back on the mainland at all back here. So, but then to see that at the Poor Knights was pretty special.
It's looking rather tasty. This is a good piece because it's got skin on both sides. See? This is going to catch us something incredible. Okay? Got a good feeling about that cast. Gonna be a winner. All right.
And she's on.
Time that drag just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
So much fun fishing with these bait runners, eh? I love it.
And it gives you that chance to, if you have to put your rod down the rod holder for a moment, you can pop them down and don't have to worry about anything. What do you got, you reckon, Nicky?
I don't know.
Quite snapperish?
It does feel a little bit snapperish.
A few head nods there.
Few nods. I was thinking for a second it could be a Kawhai, but it's not quite stroppy enough to be a Kawhai, I don't reckon.
Let's bring it alongside there and give you a hand.
Cheers. What do we...
Oh, it's actually not a bad snapper.
It's not a bad snapper at all.
Is that a mate? Is that one following him?
Yeah, it is.
Oh no, it's a kingy.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Cool. Bring him up there, Nicky, and I'll pop him in this net. He's actually swallowed it, that fella. And there's a result.
Nice.
Now, because he's swallowed that, we'll probably want to keep him, I think.
Yeah, might
He's
take
right
him
down
home.
in his gills. Beautiful. And there you have.
Beautiful.
Nice and fat, big fat guts on him, so
Healthy looking fish.
healthy. Pop him in the bin and there's a start to dinner.
Boom.
Boom.
Sandy Bay is one of those unique places in New Zealand where you will go and you will never want to leave. But sadly, we've come to the end of our fishing trip with Rusty and Keith. It's been great spending time with the locals and exploring this beautiful part of the country. We'll see you again next week on ADOS Addicted to Fishing. Gear, Care and Catch, brought to you by Trade Zone. When you go out fishing, two things are really important to identify. What is the terrain below you and how big the fish are? Now, unless you've been using your sounder for years and years and years and you've sort of taught yourself, how are you meant to know? Furuno, they make it really easy for us. They have two new functions, bottom discrimination and AccuFish, that make our job so much easier as fishers. What we've got here is seal on the bottom here. We've got the bottom discrimination telling us whether there's gravel, sand, mud or rock below us. It also has a graph on the side here which shows the percentage of each. We also have the AccuFish function. Now this estimates the size of the fish. So you can see here that this one here is a 39 centimetre snapper. So no more catching the tiddlers. Gear, Care and Catch, brought to you by Trade Zone. ADOS Addicted to Fishing adventures in confidence in our STABICRAFT, powered by Mercury Marine, and we tow it around in our Photon Tunland. Hunting and fishing supply us with our SHIMANO tackle. We find the best fishing spots with our Furuno. We celebrate our catch with a wild buck. We keep up to date with Fishing News magazine, and it all sticks together thanks to ADOS. Want to come fishing with me in beautiful Niue? Visit diefishsnow.co.nz for details.